Hello students, my name is Pankaj Pathania and today I am going to discuss about one of the most important topic, that is the plane transmission grating, or you can say that the diffraction at the end slits for the normal incident. In the previous videos we will discuss about the diffraction through the single slit and the double slit. Now I will focus on the diffraction from the N slits. N slits means that is basically called the diffraction grating. Now the grating is basically an arrangement consisting of large number of parallel slits of same width E and separated by a equal opaque space B is known as diffraction grating. So diffraction grating is basically the combination of N slits. We have a glass plate, and in this glass plate we can make a slits that is basically N slits, and basically these comprising of slits means N slits is basically the grating, and basically the width of the slit is means the grating element is basically E plus B. If E is the transparent portion width and the B is the basically opaque portion width, then E plus B is the total, that is E plus B is the total grating element. Understand, the width of in between two slits the width will be E plus B. E is the width of transparent slits and the B is the width of the opaque portion of the slits. So this is the slits S1, S2, S3, Sn minus 1 and Sn. Suppose there is N slits. Now this is the plane wavefront source. The light is coming from the source and this is the plane wavefront, and the light is diffracted from these edges, these slits, and that will be focused through the lens and fall at the point P, suppose at point P. Understand? So in every slit there will be the diffraction of the ray and produce a maxima and a minima at the screen. Now we have N slits, so this is basically the case of the single slit. If we have to take an S1, S1 is the case of the single slit. So according to the Heisenberg principle, every point in between the slit S1 is act as a source of the secondary wavelength, and that will interfere to each other and produce the maxima and the minima at a particular condition on the screen. Understand? This is the case of the single slit, and we have already discussed the resultant of these will be the resultant of these is sine alpha upon alpha. So these from S1, this is R A sine alpha upon alpha. From S2 there is again same resultant A sine alpha upon alpha. Then S3 is equal to resultant A sine alpha upon alpha. So from each slit the resultant wave diffracted from the each slit is A sine alpha upon alpha. So all the A sine alpha upon alpha means the resultant of these waves will interfere to each other and give the diffraction pattern at the screen. Understand? Now in the screen the diffraction pattern will be visible in the form of this. This is zero order maxima. These are the first principal maxima on the both sides, and this is the secondary maxima on the both sides. Understand? This is the primary 1, 2. There is the first primary maxima, second primary maxima, first primary maxima, and the second primary maxima. And in between two, there will be the minima, that is n minus 1 minima in between the two consecutive maxima, and there is n minus 2 secondary maxima will be also appear. Understand? So now we are going to the calculate the condition of this zero order maximum first, second the condition of minima, and third is the condition of the secondary maxima. Now we have seen that in between the two consecutive slits, the path difference between these two rays, the total is E plus B, and this E is the your transparent portion and opaque portion is B. So E plus B is the total length of this. S1 S2 is basically E plus B. Now the total path difference between the two is S2M. This is the S2 point, this is S1 point, and S2M is equal to E plus B sin theta. This is the path difference between the two consecutive slits. The resultant of two consecutive slits, you can say. Now we have seen that the resultant, the path difference between these two rays E plus B sin theta. Now the phase difference between these two rays is basically 2 pi by lambda E plus B sin theta. Now this phase difference we should consider as 2 beta, 2 pi by lambda E plus B sin theta. Understand? Now each these A sin alpha upon alpha, each resultant, that is A sin alpha upon alpha, that is A sin alpha upon alpha, and again at a constant phase difference, that is B is equal to 2 beta. At a constant phase difference, that is the light from slit 1, this is the from the slit 2 S2, and this is the slit from S3, and same with equal path difference of D. Understand? Now the resultant of these two ways we already discussed. According to the vector addition theorem, the resultant, this R dash is the total resultant, is basically A sin alpha upon alpha, and here is the R again, that is A sin alpha upon alpha. Again these are the constant phase difference, so total resultant R dash is equal to R sin N beta upon sin beta, that is N beta upon sin beta. We already discussed in our single slit diffraction lecture. Now R is basically A sin alpha. R is A sin alpha upon alpha sin N beta upon sin. Now N is, if there is N slit, then N is considered as the N, and R dash is equal to A sin alpha upon alpha, and sin and beta means sin and beta if N is N. Understand? And here alpha is pi E sin theta upon lambda to A square sin square alpha upon alpha square sin square N beta upon sin square beta. That is equation number, you have said that equation number 2. This is the intensity profile we have obtained in the screen. Now we have to calculate the position of maxima and minima at the screen, where the P is suppose P is the position of principal maxima, or the you can say that the minima. The condition will be obtained by expression 1. Now, first is condition of zero maximum. Zero maximum. That is the case here. At the zero maxima, resultant will be here. We have seen that this portion, this resultant is fixed. A square sine square alpha upon alpha square sine square and beta upon sine square beta. This is the equation 2. So maximum will be maxima when sine beta will be 0. Understand? This will be sine beta is 0, then intensity will be maximum. But here we have seen that the sine and beta is again 0. So apply this beta is equal to plus minus n pi. But in the same case, sine and beta is equal to 0. Now resultant we have seen that by applying L'Hospital rule. Why? We need that because that is L'Hospital rule. By applying L'Hospital rule. Because if sine beta is 0 and sine and beta, that is the 0 by 0. That is indeterminate. So limit beta is approach to plus minus n pi, then d by d beta sine n beta upon d by d beta sine beta. Resultant, if we are taking the resultant, means A sin alpha upon alpha, that is a constant, that is the total amplitude, and sine and beta upon sine beta. So we are taking the amplitude and we have find that the n cos n beta upon cos beta. Limit is beta is plus minus n pi. So that is the beta is if 0, then cos 1, that is total to n. That is basically plus minus n. So total, this means the total intensity will be A square sine square alpha upon alpha square. This is the amplitude of the wave coming from the slit S1, S2, S3 and up to Sn, multiplied by the n square. This is the condition of basically principal, or you can say the zero maximum. Understand? Now this intensity has now the position is when sine beta is equal to plus minus n pi, means sine beta is equal to 0, so beta is equal to plus minus n pi, and what is beta? That is 2 beta is equal to E plus B 2 beta is equal to 2 2 pi upon lambda E plus B sine theta. So here beta is basically, we have to this 2, the beta is pi upon lambda E plus B sine theta. So pi So position of the maxima we have calculate here. So beta is equal to plus minus n pi. So pi upon lambda E plus B sine theta is equal to plus minus n pi. N is 0, that is the condition of the 0 maxima, and n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2, that is the condition of the principal maxima. First order principal maxima, and that is second order principal maxima. Understand? So here E plus B sine theta is equal to plus minus n lambda. This is the position of the maxima around the 0 order maxima. Both sides, that is the plus minus means the first there will be the principal maxima on the both sides of the 0 order maximum. So n 1, 2, 3, 4, n is basically 0, 1, 2, 3 up to n. The position of minima. From equation 2 we have solved this one by, this is the minima position. There will be n minus 1 minima between the two maxima. Understand? Now the minima is when sine and beta will be 0. Means here is the, if sine and beta will be 0, then this is the condition of minima. That will be n beta is equal to plus minus m pi. Or what is beta? Beta is pi upon lambda E plus B sine theta is equal to plus minus m pi. Understand? Now calculate pi to pi, then the condition will be n E plus B sine theta is equal to plus minus m pi. M is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, except n minus 1, n minus 2, n minus 3, because these are the condition of principal maxima. 0 is also a condition of principal maxima. So m is 1, that is the condition of the central maxima, or you can say the 0th order maxima, first order maxima, second order maxima, third order maxima, fourth order principal maxima. Understand? So this is the condition of the minima, means there will be the n minus 1 minima in between the 0 and the first principal maximum. Now the condition for the third is condition of secondary maximum. Secondary maxima. When is the secondary maxima? Secondary maxima is there. There will be the minima, and these two minima means n minus 1 minima. There will be n minus 2 maxima will be there. Now the condition of the secondary maxima, we have to apply the calculus, that is di upon d beta should be 0. From the equation 2, d upon d beta, that is basically constant, sine square n beta upon sine square beta. We are taking this in the outside, a square sine square alpha upon alpha square. That is d by d beta should be 0. So now differentiate this. That is a square sine square alpha upon alpha square multiply by 2 sine and beta, 2 sine and beta upon sine beta, and this is sine square beta is equal to, that is basically, but we have seen beta upon sine beta, sine square beta. Here we have seen that n cos n beta sine beta minus cos beta sine n beta. By differentiating it by on x. Now here this will be not equal to, sine beta is not equal to 0 because that is the condition of the principal maxima, and sine and beta is not equal to 0 because sine and beta is the condition of the minima. So the remaining portion that will be 0 is n cos n beta sine beta minus cos beta sine and beta is equal to 0. And only this condition, that is a constant, that is a constant that is not equal to, but only the remaining portion of this thing will be 0. So here we have seen that by solving this, and tan beta is equal to tan n beta. Understand? We can write this as tan n beta is equal to n tan beta upon 1. Now, using the triangle law, using the triangle, we can calculate the condition. Triangle law, we can calculate the secondary maximum. Is basically we are supposed to calculate the sine and beta. Now the triangle is here, that is n beta, that is 1, and that is n tan beta. N tan beta, and this will be 1 plus n square tan square beta. Understand? Now we have to calculate from the equation 3 sine and beta. So sine and beta is basically n tan beta upon 1 plus n square tan square beta. Understand? Now sine square and beta is n square tan square beta upon 1 plus n square tan square beta. Understand? So sine square beta is here. So now the intensity is proportional to the sine square n beta upon sine square beta. This is a constant. We are not considering that. That is a constant. You can say that the k. K is a constant, a square sine square alpha upon alpha square. So I is equal to k sine square n beta is basically n square tan square beta upon 1 plus n square tan square beta divided by sine square beta. So here we have seen that will be upon 1. So this will be n square tan square beta upon 1 plus n square tan square beta multiplied by the sine square. We are taking this one will be n square. Understand? Now sine square beta plus n square tan square beta sine square beta. That is n square tan square beta. Understand? Now solving this, we have find that by solving this we have find it come in the form of n square 1 plus n square minus 1 sine square beta. Now this is the condition I1. If n is 1, that is the first principal maximum. And the intensity of the zero order maxima is E0 is basically that is n square. So I0 by I1 we can calculate as n square upon n square upon 1 plus n square minus 1 sine square beta. So this is the basic the intensity difference between these two first principal maximum on the both side and the zero order maximum. Understand? So this here the k is there, k is also here, constant k is there also. K is a square sin square alpha upon alpha square. So this is the basic condition for the secondary maxima here. So thank you very much.